There are many, many really awesome skilled healers and coaches, and there's things that they can't do and they can't know because they're not aware of it. They hit that energetic plateau. And it's usually because they're not trained to work beyond this dimensional layer. Hi, I'm Bonnie Serratore, creator of the Serratore Method. If you don't know something, if you've never heard of something, okay, even though you might be highly skilled in a certain area, let's say baking, okay, you're a baker, you love baking, you are a highly skilled baker. Oh, but wait, here comes a baker from another country with completely different kinds of baked goods that are not anywhere close to what yours are. Okay, so you didn't know about those. You didn't know about how they did it, the ingredients, whatever that was or is. Okay, so it's the same thing with healing and coaching. Anyone who has all these healing skills, if you haven't really developed your ability to track energy to the depth to where you can actually find where things began at the core, no matter what time, dimensional, space, universe, galaxy, lifetime, reality, black hole, no matter where anything is, you have to be able to find it. Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of healers are not even aware of many of these kinds of dimensions and universes and galaxies and wormholes and all the different things that some of us are aware of. Okay. Think about this too. Shamans are different than, a lot of healers. Shamans are some of the most ancient healers in the world. Okay. We've been around a long time. We're like the originals. Okay. So, we've learned things. We discovered things way the heck back in time. Okay. So a lot of the healers that we're aware of, they're more in these recent years, several thousands of years, those kinds of healers. They didn't have the experiences and the things that were occurring, 40,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. So there's all kinds of things that a skilled healer doesn't really know. And if you've never heard of it, it could be, like you could be working on someone and the energy's right there, but you won't recognize it. You won't see it. You won't understand it. Okay. So, you're not going to be able to actually work at the deepest level, unless you're someone who has been trained to go beyond this dimensional layer. And think about this too. A lot of coaches, especially coaches, they're dealing with this reality right here. Okay. Now, oftentimes you have some healers and coaches that are more expanded, but the general rule, they're limited. Okay. It also depends on the healer. What kind of healer are you? Are you a, white witch? Are you a shaman? Are you psychic? Are you a wizard or a sorcerer? All these different, skills are different. They're all different. So, where do you fit into all of that? And, where have you trained? Where have you studied? Okay. And who did you study with? Okay. For me, you may or may not know this, but I didn't study with anyone only because I could feel the energy. And for me, if they weren't like totally aware, totally, full of light, totally clear, I wasn't going to study with anybody. Okay. But I was not meant to. I was meant to get this. I was meant to bring what I learned. Okay. So, some of the big experiences, the common reasons, where experienced practitioners feel blocked or even drained or ineffective is for that very reason. They're not in that, they haven't trained to the depth of learning how to track. How do you track stuff? How do you really sense into things? And oftentimes when we feel real drained, what can happen is, we're trying really hard and we're using our own energy to either move energy or find energy or work with energy or clear energy. Okay. Or we're not effective because we're not really finding the root cause. We're not finding all the components. This is another thing. Our issues are never only one thing. Okay. So let's just say we're working with feeling abandoned. Okay. Abandoned. We got abandonment issues. Okay. You got to find all the pieces. It isn't just one thing. It isn't just a past life. There's all kinds of things. There's all these emotions, all these beliefs that you've done, that you've concluded that cause you to feel the way you do. Your emotions get locked into your soul imprint and then they come in this lifetime. Now they're in your subconscious. If a person doesn't know how to, track your subconscious and find what you've got trapped in there, they're not going to get all the pieces. This is why we're not effective. Okay. So, they feel sometimes practitioners feel blocked. And, that's because they are blocked. There could be blockages in them, stopping them and blocking them from their own skills and abilities. That happens a lot. Okay. Jealousies, envies can create blockages. We can interfere with people. Okay. So, really, true mastery requires learning to track energy through layers most modalities never address. Okay. Like I was saying, there's a lot of things no one's even aware of. I mean, I still find things to this day. Like I found something a few weeks ago on a group clearing that's like, whoa, I've never seen this before. Okay. I was going into the subconscious and I found an ancient layer that was like a different civilization. Okay. So, when we're clearing and tracking, we have to have no mind. We have to be open to know everything and the desire, show me, show me, show me. Okay. It doesn't mean that we have to have experience of everything, but we have to have the ability to be able to sit in energy, feel energy, and let it awaken us to what this is. So I do teach people, if you come up against something you don't know what it is, just be with it. Sit in the energy. And the energy frequency, the energy of that emotional frequency, whatever that is going to resonate somewhere in you. And then all of a sudden you're going to go, oh, that's what that is. Ah, got it. Then we can keep on going. Okay. So, it's the tracking is vital, the ability to track and to become aware of all the different things that are happening, all the different kinds of dimensions, all the kind of different time space, all the different wormholes and black holes and voids and all the things where we could be lost. Okay. If you don't know it, how are you going to track it? Okay. So, live mastery with me, goes even deeper into the layers of, into layers and dimensions, realism and realities, to get to the root of whatever angst you're experiencing. This is why it's so effective. If we only clear out what we find in the, in your subconscious, and we don't clear out stuff in the, the lower chakras or, other things that are happening in your, in your energy field, things will not shift and change. There could be some movement, but if we want real, true, deep, profound, life-changing movement, whatever's blocking has to be found and unraveled and cleared. And that's what creates and allows for liberation. Liberation from all these emotions, liberation from all the interferences, liberation from all this emotional wounding, all the carryovers, So, if you really want to get clear, get truly healed, it's got to get revealed. And whatever that is, you got to reveal it to heal it. Got to feel it to heal it. Okay, so there are universal laws, and that's two of them. So again, we get stuck because we don't know. Okay. And sometimes we got our own stuff in the way, our own blockages, our own misperceptions. So again, it's always about, being free, getting liberated, and finding the best healer you can find. But also, if you're a skilled healer and you want to become even greater and really be effective, then you're going to need to know about all these different time, space, dimensions, universe, galaxy, lifetimes, realities, black holes, realms, all existence, where things are occurring that are affecting your clients. Okay. And you got to track the subconscious and find the beliefs in there that your client has. All of this cleanup will allow for the opportunity for someone to get liberated and be healed from within.